Hello everybody, the Alien Boy here. I'm back again with another review video. Last time I reviewed the 2026 Diecast Thomas, and I said I would review Henry in the next video, so here I am. I'm going to be reviewing the 2026 Diecast Henry. And I'm really excited for this because Henry, as far as like his status in the show, has been not so good. Like, he got very few amounts of screen time in Big Robot Adventures, no dialogue whatsoever in All Engines Go. Overall, he's just been kind of pushed to the side a lot, and judging by how he's being marketed or being pushed out for the new show, sometimes he's gonna have a bigger part in that, and I'm really excited for that because Henry's one of my favorite characters, and I really want Henry to get, the attention that he's been needing for so long. But anyways, so this is the packaging. It's much bigger than the Thomas packaging, of course. And this is part of the large engines assortment, which also includes other characters like James, Gordon, and Oliver, I'm pretty sure. Oliver and Toad, and Thomas and Clarabelle. Which I will get those eventually, but we're reviewing Henry right now. We got Henry's name right there, his render here, and I definitely got some things to say about the render. For one, like, I don't exactly know what's going on here. Maybe if I zoom in a little bit, his, I'm not sure what you call these, but wherever they're called, they're supposed to be black, but they're white here. And it was like, it's so unnoticeable that I just thought they completely got rid of them at first in the render, but nope, they were just white and they blend in. I don't know if that's like an error or something. And also his feed, wait, what are these things called? No, they're not feed pipes, they're, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I don't exactly know what these things are called, but they're black for some reason, they're not green. And that's not even just on a toy, but it's on the actual render itself, which kind of makes me think, is it going to look like that in the show? Who knows. Overall, the rest of Henry looks fine, though. And I think the packaging is basically the same as the Thomas's packaging. The Thomas Friends logo, YouTube Kids availability, or available on YouTube Kids. 2026 new basic, yeah, it's all the same stuff. Here's the back of the packaging, which shows all the characters in the large engine. This is the wave one of the large engine assortment. Henry, James, Gordon, Annie, Thomas, Oliver, and Toad. I cannot wait to get the rest of these. And we got all the other stuff created by Brett Allcroft. Hit Entertainment logo oh yeah, there it is. Hit Entertainment logo right there. I'm not sure why that's still there, because as far as I'm concerned, I don't think like Hit Entertainment really has the rights to Thomas anymore, or isn't really associated with them anymore, because they don't really make their toys anymore. Mattel does now, so I'm not exactly sure why that logo is there. But hey, it's whatever. And the rest of this stuff is just we don't really need to look at the rest of that because it's uninteresting. Anyways, enough about that. Now time to get Henry out of the box. So, I didn't do too good of a job trying to preserve Henry's packaging. I messed up a lot here, but that's fine. As long as I got him out the packaging, that's all that really matters. But anyways, here's Henry. And wow, I'm already excited to review this thing. Like, off the bat, Henry looks incredible. It's been a long while since we had a big engine, like a good big engine like Henry, because for so long, he just wasn't big like he's supposed to, like, but now he has like no more of that squished proportions or the 6 wheels or any of that. Nope. This time Henry has all of his wheels, all 6 driving wheels, all 4 bogey wheels. Sadly, only 4 wheels on his tender though, but we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, so let's get into the review. Henry looks really good. Like, really good. Off the bat, you can already notice that Henry's shade of green is way darker than all his other diecast models. That seems to be something they're doing for the bigger engines, like giving Gordon a darker shade of blue. Now they're giving Henry a darker shade of green. Probably to, like, I guess make them more different or more distinguishable from the smaller engines like Thomas and Percy. I guess so. Maybe kids don't mix them up or something, or people who are unfamiliar with Thomas don't mix them up, even though I thought it was kind of easy not to mix them up considering that they're completely different characters, but it's whatever. Yeah, so the only metal part on Henry is his boiler. The rest of him is plastic. Like, he's like, I'd say 40% metal here and like 60% plastic on everything else on the engine. The tender though is 100% plastic. Like, no parts on here are metal other than the magnet. Everything else is completely plastic. And you can definitely tell because like all the plastic parts are a different shade of green than the metal part, which is kind of a shame. I was hoping that he would be all metal, like just like how it used to be, but whatever, it's fine, I guess. One thing I really do like is the bogey wheel. Like, he has his own bogey. He can turn around on curves, which is really good. Which means he won't get stuck on places, which is a really good thing. He also seems to have black. I, again, don't know what those are called, but they're colored black and not green for some reason. I'm hoping they are actually green in the show, but you know, with whatever. His face, Henry's face it's alright. In my opinion, it's like one of the better looking faces, you know, compared to like faces like Gordon's and James's especially. Oh man, just wait till I get my hands on the James. Well, I can't wait to review that thing. He also has the magnet. Something really interesting is that his tender is now permanently attached to him, which means you can't take it off, or at least can't easily take it off, which will make it harder for customs. And speaking of which, something else I want to mention is that he doesn't have any screws. He's just permanently attached onto his chassis, which, yeah, they really don't want customizers to get into these things, do they? We got Henry's name right there. It says Henry with the ticket. Really good. Alright, I'm going to talk about the things that I don't really like about this model. And first, an obvious one, the tender. His tender is too short. And by short, I mean in terms of height. Like, it's the right length, but in terms of height, it's too short. Like, Henry's tender is supposed to be tall. Like, let me bring the packaging back to packaging. As you can see here, his tender is almost up to his cab roof. But here, it doesn't really come close, which is kind of a shame. His tender, I mean, at least his tender is the right shape, but I think the slope here is a little bit too small. And because of that, it makes his tender look too square-like. And again, I don't know why. They clearly had enough room to put an extra pair of wheels there, but they just didn't for some reason. I have no idea why. I wish they did put another wheel there. If you put another wheel there, then it would definitely make this thing look a whole lot better, but it's fine, I guess. Here's the back. Unpainted buffers. And not even just that, he doesn't even have like a buffer beam here that's supposed to be there. So it's all just green. The buffers aren't even painted black. No buffer beam. Another thing I just noticed is his cab is kind of sealed off. Like, you can't even, you won't be able to see the inside of it, which you used to on the Take and Play models. I wish they went back to doing that, but they didn't. This inside of his cab is also blocked off because it's like a piece that connects the roof area. He has no lamp, sadly, which is a shame. I wish he did, but he doesn't. His whistle's unpainted. No cab windows. Though, to be fair, I guess Henry's would be a little bit hard to put on there because of his firebox that kind of gets in the way. His cab windows are incredibly tiny. And one thing I will say is that I do like that he has all his wheels. I do kind of wish they made his wheels a little bit bigger, because at the moment they're kind of the same size as Thomas's wheels. Let me just bring Thomas in a little bit. Yeah, they're the same size as Thomas's. I really wish they made his wheels slightly bigger. You know, for the bigger engines, I wish they gave them slightly bigger driving wheels. That would definitely make them look a little better. And yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say for Henry's appearance. I do want to test it with the magnets though. Yep, he connects well. He doesn't connect. It's one way again. He doesn't really connect any other way. One thing I do gotta say is I liked his scaling. Like, Henry's scaling is pretty good for the most part anyway. Like, he feels bigger than Thomas, and that's always a good thing because Henry is a big engine and he's supposed to be bigger than Thomas. But anyway, now let's compare him to my other Henrys. Alright, so first of all, we're going to compare him to my Take and Play Henry. And honestly, they're both pretty good. They both have great proportions. They both have the right amount of wheels. Though Take and Play Henry definitely has the more accurate wheel configuration, because he actually has 6 wheels on his tender, which he doesn't. This Henry's slightly bigger than this Henry. Yeah, he's I think this Henry's definitely longer than this Henry. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, this Henry's longer than the Take and Play Henry. Now, with my Henry, he has all these added details to him. So, like, if we're ignoring all these details and just pretend it's the plain one, like, they would definitely be quite similar. Like, these added details just kind of make them look better, which kind of gives them an unfair advantage in appearance-wise. Like with the painted running board. Again, I'm still unsure whether I'm going to paint the running board in these. I think it might actually be a little bit harder to add extra details to these edges, considering the fact that you can't really take them apart, at least without destroying them, and I do not want to do that, so yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say for my Take and Play Henry. I mean, other than the fact that his green is definitely lighter than his green. Anyways, now I was gonna originally compare him with my Take Long Henry, but I kind of took that one up. I kind of took that one apart for spare parts, so yeah, I can't really do that. But I can compare him to the All Engines Go Push Along Henry, and yeah, this Henry the All Engines Go Henry is definitely taller than the 2026 Henry. They both got the green eyes though. So this Henry, in terms of the face, I think this Henry has a better face than this Henry, because his face is completely original. His face is exactly the same as Gordon's face, just with the eyes a little bit more squinted, or at least he has a more jolly expression than Gordon does. Proportion wise, again, this is longer than this Henry. You know, again, still not a big fan of the slanted cab, bent back funnel and all that. One thing I gotta say though is the tender this tender is definitely better than this one, because Henry's tender is literally just the same tender as Gordon and James's tender, and it's not supposed to look like that. And even though this Henry's tender is squashed it down, it at least feels bigger, because this Henry's tender is just straight up really tiny. Like, he has a dinky little tender. It just doesn't look right. And plus, he just feels more like Henry. This is just a Gordon repaint. I mean, that's pretty much what he is in the show. He's pretty much just Gordon, but just painted green and with some of Henry's elements added onto him. And this Henry also has the advantage when it comes to wheel configuration, because Henry, just like all the other big engines in All Engines Go push-alongs, they all have the same wheel configuration, well, except for Edward, of course, and Emily. I think those two are like the only exception to that. Everyone else, however, the same wheels. So yeah, this Henry definitely wins in that category. Yeah, not really much to say about the other side. There is one thing I could give to the On the Skull Henry, is that he at least has the right color details. Like his piston is green, his whistle's yellow. These are also green, which this Henry doesn't really have, sadly. But that's fine because he still looks good. Now, I unfortunately don't own the 80th anniversary Henry, so I can't exactly compare that. So yeah, we'll only be having 2 comparisons for Henry. Anyways, we'll move this guy out of the frame. And I will get into my final thoughts. Here are my final thoughts on Henry. Honestly, Henry's really good. I think he might be one of my favorite in the range. I can't wait to get Gordon and James and Percy and all the others. If there's one thing I were to fix about this Henry, is to, one, paint the buffers definitely, and fix the coloring on some of his other details. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Honestly, it feels so good to have a big engine again. I was honestly getting so tired of the big engines all being squished down and having only 6 wheels on each of them. It feels good to have a well-proportioned Henry again. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see another video like this, subscribe to the channel and comment down below. Anyways, I'll see you next time. Bye.